A very big welcome in, everybody, to the 2023 edition of Wal-Win Area Media Days presented by WJLX here at the Pie Factory. So happy to have everybody along with us. We've had a little bit of a technical faux pas, so we are starting a little bit early, but thankfully everything is underway. We will have over the next 2 days all 11 teams in our Wal-Win area. We have media representatives, not only from WJLX, but the community leader and other media outlets that will be here with us. First up for us today are the Lynn Bears. Head coach Mark Hastings enters his third year with the program. They went 11-2 last year with a third-round playoff appearance and had the first ever Wal-Win area WJLX MVP in Cale Tittle. Coach, we're going to allow you to introduce your players and just give us a brief opening statement.
All right, good deal. To my right is Cale Tittle. He played quarterback for us and played a good bit on defense as well. And to my left is Cole Kelly. He played running back and linebacker, and both of these guys were very instrumental in us having the success we had last year. I think we went into the year, I think we surprised a lot of people. As far as coaching-wise, we really wasn't surprised. We knew that one of our biggest tasks would be just to get these guys to believe, and once they started to believe in what they could accomplish, then we just kind of got out of the way and let them do the rest.
Coach, my first question is last year you guys had 6 home games. That means this year it's 6 road games. Obviously, that presents a bigger challenge, and on top of that, you're in a 9-team region, and the competition is probably the fiercest in Class 1A. Is the challenge, do you look forward to that, especially when you look at the playoffs, the way that you guys were able to go deeply?
Well, you know, our region, we do feel like is really strong. We were able to win road games at Marion County last year and South Lamar, but this year we traveled to Pickens, who you know, extremely good last year, ended up going to the finals. We have road games at Hub this year, which is also a very dangerous team. And then we have an out-of-region game at Alabama Christian, who 3A that went a couple rounds in the playoffs as well. So, you know, being on the road is not our favorite, but then again, we just approach it like it's another game. And our kids look forward to, you know, competing at anywhere. So, you know, getting them ready to play is really not a key issue. You know, just a technical aspect of traveling is a bigger issue than getting the kids ready to play.
All right, Coach, Zach McCullough here with WJLX. What was behind that massive turnaround last year? In 21, y'all were 2-8. Last year, you make it to the third round of the playoffs with only 2 losses on the season. So what went behind that turnaround? Well,
I felt like the year before that a lot of our guys kind of approached things where they had already made up their mind whether they could win or not, and if they didn't feel like they could win, you know, the effort just wasn't there. If they felt like they could win and then something went wrong, they just shut down as well. But we were able to come from behind and win the Jamboree game up at East Lawrence, and I think that kind of, you know, just that winning feeling, especially starting off a new year. And then they really started believing in themselves, and we were able to, the next week, to go to Marion County and get a big win. So I think it just they fed off each win. It got, you know, toward the end of the year where it wasn't a matter of you know, and not in a cocky way. It wasn't a matter of are we going to win. It was just a matter of you know, how well we're going to play and so forth. And we really look forward to the next opponent, but we made sure we took care of the team we were playing that week. I thought we were really good at that.
All right, Coach, have you been sensing any pressure for a repeat?
No. You know, we really hadn't talked much about a repeat simply because we just want to go out and play our best game, you know, and if we play like we can, we feel like that we can repeat and hopefully go even deeper than we did last year. We feel like we've got the people to do that. We're strong skill set wise, obviously with Cale and Cole. We've got you know, our top receiver Logan Madison is back, who's improved as well. We got 2 of our best linemen, if not our 2 best linemen, back, Ryan Talley and Drake Ferris, and we felt like we were going to have to find at least 2 linemen to be able to be competitive, but we feel like we found at least 2. Came along really well in the spring, and we feel like that they're going to be good for us in the fall. So getting over that hurdle was huge.
All right, Coach, my final question. You're a veteran coach. You've been around the business for a long time. What have you learned in all your years of coaching?
Do I look that old?
No, you don't look that old.
Well, I tell you what, coaching that long will make you look old. One of the things that I've learned over the years is first of all, don't try to make a kid something he's not. You can't put say a quarterback in that really doesn't have the skills to be a strong thrower and put him in situations where you're dependent on him throwing. But the other part is really just believing your kids. And I can remember a lot of games that we went into it and I'm thinking these guys are not ready to play. They're we're not as good as them, and then game starts and our kids are fighting their tails off, and when it's over we won. So trusting the kids has really been one of the biggest issues. Once you started being able to do that, also being able to have good coaches, and we've been very fortunate last year and this year to have a good staff.
Hey, Coach, James Phillips with the Community Journal. Good to see you again. I got a question for you, and the players can kind of comment too. In 1A, playing both sides of the ball with pretty much everybody, how big is conditioning to get through, especially a schedule like you guys are going to have? So how important is conditioning, and is that what kind of helped you guys turn it around last year?
I think that was was something that was a plus to us, because we did get in several games early that we had to pull it out at the end, and we were able to have legs and finish those contest and be on top. But playing 1A football, everybody's the same. Very, very seldom if you have teams that can really have an offensive side and a defensive side. Some can. We're not able to do that. I think a lot of times when we would go to offense to defense, there would only be 2 people go in, 2 people come out, those type things. So conditioning has been key, but also just a desire to play. A lot of our kids are just very, very competitive, and so whether you're tired or whether you're not, if you want to compete, you're going to compete.
Cole, what's your thoughts on that?
It starts during the summer. You gotta. I got it on the Cole. Every day we come out and we actually go 3 days this month and maybe up to 4. But, we run every day and practice. Coach always says, if you're practicing as hard as you can, that should be your condition. Practice like in your game time moments. And games last year, like I can especially think of Marion County, our first region game. That was a huge one. We didn't win a region game the year before. So to come out and pull that one away in the second half when it was anyone's game, and being more conditioned than anyone in the first game of the season, pretty much was a big key factor. And our region championship win against Pickens, having a drive to come down at the end and drive it all the way down the goal line, end up not scoring. But I felt like we were just as good as conditioned as anyone right there. And then to have the energy to pull it out in overtime is just huge. And that's stuff you got to do if you want to win. If you want to win big games like that.
Cole, this is our last question. I'm going to direct this specifically at you guys, being the leaders of the team. 11-win season, 3rd round of the playoffs, region championship. Is it unfinished business this year that you guys want to wrap up?
You don't want to call it that, but if you go out there and play your best ball, we expect to go as far or even farther this year. But you wouldn't want to call it unfinished business, but we expect to go and do great things this year.
I agree, just what Cole said. We're coming back and looking to do just as good or even better as last year. We were really upset. 3rd round of the playoffs, everybody on our team, every single one of us knew we could have won that game, and eventually go on and play a team that we've already beat this year and or beat that year, and wanted to play them again and see what we were made of to make it one more game to the state championship, and that would have been something special. So we're definitely going to push as hard as we possibly can this year to do just that.
Guys, it's a pleasure to have you guys with us. Best of luck. Of course, we're going to be seeing you guys a lot this season, so looking forward to it. But Thanks once again for joining us.
I appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
We're going to take a small break, and we'll be back with the Cordova Blue Devils up next.
Speaking of. Yes, I can. David O. Oh, yeah. This is like true media right here. You got the bright lights.
Media day.
Welcome back, everybody. Now we have the Cordova Blue Devils joining us right now. Head coach Shane Smothers entering his third season. The Blue Devils were 5-5 last year and be looking to replace some leadership, but have plenty of returning back. Coach, I'm going to let you introduce your players and just give us a little opening statement.
First of all, thank you guys for having us. We're excited to be here today. To my left, Trace Allen, senior, starting offensive tackle, defensive lineman. As you can see, he's 6'2", 280. Loves to eat and loves to work out. David Odom, running back, senior running back, 2,000-yard rusher last year. Expecting big things out of David this year in the backfield. Weight room warrior, power clean, bench press, 350 type guy. So he loves to lift, and he's really grown into a good leader for us as well.
Quick question, Coach, and I know it's going to be in a lot of people's mind. You're replacing a 4-year starter quarterback, Cody Hedrick, who is just a dynamic leader. And I know David's going to help out because obviously quarterback's going to need to stay with running back. Do you have any candidates right now that you guys are looking for at quarterback?
Yes, first and foremost, you've nailed it about losing Cody. Can't brag enough on Cody, the leadership he brought us. And just the game he brought us as well, the play he brought to us. That is a huge loss for not just us, but for the really all sports, you know, 3-sport guys. So, but he did a good job leading the younger guys. And you talked about David leading us, but, you know, you'll see guys I got behind us in a little while that we've really had a really good offseason. Our main goal was to get bigger, stronger type deal, and we're going to rely not just on David, but the guys in front of the quarterback. So my whole goal this year was, you know, it really don't matter who we put at quarterback. And I've never been that way. I played quarterback. I've coached quarterbacks. But we have stressed to win it up front no matter who's back there. And they sort of bought into that. The candidates right now we've got, well, the public don't really know from last year is Cody was the starter. The backup never had to play. The true backup was Jalen Armstead, senior Jalen Armstead. We did have a young sophomore, Trent Keating, that was our Monday night starter for JV. Lincoln Smothers was the middle school starter for 2 games till he broke his finger. Those 2 guys are back. And Trent, he's a junior, has had a great offseason. So proud of Trent. First guy in the building, one of the last to leave. Can't say enough about him and his work ethic, and he's improved tremendously. Again, Lincoln's going to be a 9th grader, young kid, basically missed a year last year with a broke finger. But he's gradually catching up in the game. And then we have Mason Bates that's come back to us. He left us after 9th grade, went to Jasper. He came back in March, so we're fired up to have Mason. And he's more of a hitter guy, running. But we've worked him at quarterback as well this summer, so he'll have an opportunity to play some quarterback too. So we're pretty excited about the candidates. But again, our goal is let these guys and this guy do their deal.
All right, Coach. Zach McCullough here with WJLX. Last time we talked to you, you were heading into year 1 at Cordova. Now you've got a couple of years behind you. You're heading into year 3. What would you say you have learned in that time?
It's a process. We always talk about that, but it has been. We're finally, in today's football, and really in all our sports at Cordova, you just don't have a lot of kids playing like you used to, and that's just changed recently at Cordova. I tell you, we've got guys. The first year we had 8 seniors in that 21 year, which was tough. And then this past year we had it up to 10 seniors. And those 10 seniors, 8 of those guys played, and they played a lot of football for us. But now we have 17 seniors, so it's just been a process of building the numbers up too, and keeping them together. This group right here, this senior group, has an opportunity to go down as one of the best groups to come through Cordova. Being together, working hard, leadership, and just can't say enough about the senior groups we have, the senior group that we do have.
Coach, you touched on the illustrious past of the Cordova program, and would you say there's more pressure when you're trying to rebuild a program with so many championships and great seasons in the past like Cordova has, compared to other programs that haven't had as much past success?
Well, any sentence you bring up pressure in Cordova, they go together. So that's an everyday deal at Cordova High School. The town expects you to win. Players grow up expecting to win. The coaches there expect to win. So there's pressure there every day. But I feed off of that. I love that kind of stuff.
Final question for me. You had a lot of close losses last year. Does that affect how you prepare for facing those same teams again this year?
I won't necessarily say it changes the way we're prepared. We did lose 5 games, went 5-5. One game we got our butt kicked, to be honest. The other 4 we lost by 10 points total, 2 1-point losses, 2 4-point losses. We led in all 4 games. And I'll just tell you, one game was up 41-24 in the fourth quarter and got beat 45-41. If it could go wrong for us last year, it went wrong. But the big thing is opened our eyes to know how close we were, and just got to keep working and working. And they have done that to buy into to win those one-score games that's coming up here.
Coach, kind of on the back of that, talk about your schedule some. Talk about the teams you guys are playing, and guys, y'all can comment on that as well. Being as close as you were in several of those games last year, I know player-wise, you probably want those games back and want to kind of get a little bit of revenge this year.
You want to hit on that first? Schedule. Big Dave, you got anything first? You sure? They just want to go work out. The schedule-wise, we were excited getting out of 5A, okay, and getting into 4A and playing teams a lot like we were demographic-wise. So it was a really good schedule for us in that part of it. Income started coming in again, so that's a big part of football. The talent, I would say, it's a lot of big dudes and a lot of strong dudes, and that's been the theme so far this off season amongst what we're hearing amongst coaches talking is there's a lot of big guys coming back. So we're excited about that, but a lot of teams, like Corner had a really good running back that signed at West Alabama. I mean, he was their guy. He's gone, so we don't know who they've got coming there. Northside, it looked like all their guys were big. The quarterback ran 35 times in that single wing, so I don't know if they're going to have to change things or not. In that aspect, Dorr is loaded to the tilt. They're really, really good, and we'll travel there to play them in the big game, Week 6 at their place. So that's 3 of the top coming in. And Haleville surprised a lot of people. I think, and we've told people, and Haleville's team was up 41-24 with about 8 minutes to go in the game. That just changed their season. And that's what happens in football. In any sport, you just need some kind of momentum. And they went off after that and surprised a lot of folks and won a lot of games. So I know they've got a lot of expectation. Bo does a good job there. Curry, Jace Cordell's the new head coach at Curry. He was our O-line coach the last 2 years. He's going to work them and bring in something a little different possibly there from being at Cordova, playing there, and being in that kind of environment his whole life. So we're sort of excited to see what they bring to the table. We've got a really good opportunity if we just continue to do what we're doing.
Final question. I'm going to give this to David and Trace. I know you guys have grown up seeing your rivalry game with Dora switch from starting off the year to now, since it's a region game, it's at the middle. Do you guys have a preference, or is it just, hey, look, it's our main rival, we're going to get up for it no matter if it's beginning, middle, or end of the season?
I'm going to touch on that. I feel like we're going to get after it either way. Give us more time to build up, really mentally prepare for what we're going into. Like you were saying earlier, we really had an upset last year. That ain't going to happen again.
David?
Yeah, I'd say Dora is our biggest rival, and last year kind of hurt getting beat by them, but I think this year we're going to come out and we're going to whoop them.
Guys, best of luck. We're looking forward to seeing you throughout the season as you take on a very rigorous region. So we're looking forward to it. Up next, we're going to have a few of the Cordova leaders also with us for an impromptu little interview session. So stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We have 3 of our Cordova leaders also with us for a little impromptu Q&A session. Braden Lugo, Jay Ferguson, Logan Burton. Guys, you guys are going to start off with the Jamboree game against the superpower of B.B. Comer, who actually you guys had a state championship game against some 25 years ago. Quite a way to begin the season. What's your thoughts on a high-profile opponent like that?
We're just gonna give it all we got.
Logan, Braden, what do you guys think?
Just excited to see the talent that they're going to bring to Cordova. They're really good.
Just a little something on that. State championship runner-ups. We'll just have to see what they bring to the table.
Guys, burning question in my mind, because every team has one. Who's the funny man on the team? Who's the prankster? Who's the jokester? Who even cracks Coach up?
Hunter Snow.
Hunter Snow. What's one of the funniest things that he did that's at least suitable for family?
I don't know. He does a lot.
Do y'all have to chase him? Y'all have to keep him in line? Yeah. You do? Guys, last question. What would be the ideal season in your minds, each one of your minds? You guys go on the line. Starting down Logan, you just chime in with us.
I'm just hoping we make the playoffs and make it far into the playoffs this year.
Get revenge on teams that beat us.
Okay. Braid?
Just like Coach Smothers was saying, just trying to win the region maybe. Like last year, it just didn't go our way, but it could have with the games, all the close games. I feel like we can turn it around this year.
Guys, best of luck. We can't wait to see how you guys are doing this year, and go Blue Devils. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. And we now have the Summoning Christian Eagles with us here today. Coach David Powell heads up the program. Summoning Christian went 5-5 last year, and I'm going to turn it over to Coach Powell. Let him make an opening statement and introduce his two players.
Okay, out to my right, I got quarterback Jake White, and to my left, linebacker Noah Godwin. Like you said, we went 5-5 last year, missed the playoffs. We made it the two previous years, and we're looking to get back in the playoffs this year. Graduated 6 seniors this past season, 14 the year before that. So that's 20 in 2 years. That's a pretty big hit for a small school, but the good news is we got 9 seniors back for this year. 6 returning starters, and that's
basically means 12. So got some good young talent. It's just they haven't been much experience on Friday night. So if they keep coming and developing and play hard and smart, then look for the Eagles to have a solid year.
Coach, you're in a humongous region, 9-team region, including yourselves. Obviously, that only gives you 2 region games. Plus, the teams in this region are just buzzsaws. I mean, the top 3 teams, 2 of them went to the 3rd round. Pickens County, of course, played for the championship. So week in and week out, it's a dogfight.
Yeah, no question. I mean, we played. Like I said, we finished 5th in our region, so we almost got in. We got beat in a close game to Lamar County, or South Lamar, and it was a good game. Pickens and Lynn, and Marion kind of got on us, but it is what it is. You just got to go out and if we can eliminate like big plays, we have a chance to be in the game in the second half late, but we gave up so many big plays against those top 3 teams in the region that the game kind of snowballed on us. But definitely like the attitude of our team, and if we can tackle good in space, hopefully this year we can compete against those top teams in the region. I think we can.
All right, Coach Zach McCullough with WJLX. You're heading into your 30th season as a high school football head coach. So if you could go back in time 30 years and give yourself some advice heading into your first season, what would it be?
Well, I've kind of learned, through the years, I feel like no matter what the situation, you got to find a positive spin on things. That doesn't mean turn your head to things and sugarcoat it. I like being truthful and straightforward in coaching. Tell the players exactly what I expect and don't sugarcoat it. I think that's worked well for us and worked well for me. But for any coaches coming up, there's so many things that can suck the life out of you and get you a little bit on the negative side, that you always got to kind of find that positive line in every situation. I feel like that's worked well.
All right, Coach. I see you have 2 of your team leaders here with you, and this is a question for all 3 of you. Who, besides Noah and Jake, will be a team leader this year?
Our offensive center, Jack Adderholt, he's going to be a senior. He's 3-year starter. We got another offensive lineman, Aiden Whiten, that plays both ways, O-line, D-line. And we've got skill guy, Austin Scobie. He'll be back. And we got a D-lineman, O-lineman, Chickasee, Theo Corey. So, we got 6 strong that have played a lot of football besides, these 2 plus the 4.
Noah and Jake, any comments there?
Well, we've got a good squad coming back, and we have Jack, who's just captain of the line. He demands respect, he demands effort, he demands excellence at that position, and I'm just excited to what the year holds. We're going to hold our guys accountable, and our guys are going to hold us accountable, and we're going to go week by week, and we're going to play as hard as we can.
Jake, pleading the 5th. That's all right. Looking over your schedule, one thing jumped out to me that you had to play Pickens County and Lynn, the 2 best teams in the region, back-to-back. What are your thoughts on that scheduling?
Well,
It's for all of you.
We're going to start the week out. We're going to take it just how we would any other week. Study film Monday and Tuesday. I, as the defensive captain, always try to know the playbook in and out as well as I can. We're going to know what to expect, and we're going to execute on our end as well. So that's all you can do.
Coach, do you want to comment on that before?
No, I mean the schedule is what it is. You know, just who's up next. You know, let's go play.
Coach James Phillips with the Community Journal. Talk a little bit about, you mentioned earlier that you had a lot of young guys that are going to be stepping up for the first time this year. Talk about some of those guys, who we can expect to be out there, and where their positions are and how important they're going to be.
Jesse Franklin is one. It's linebacker, kind of a skill guy. We're looking for big things from him. And J.D. Barrett is another one. Same guy, skill guy. Those two guys are both seniors and first time players at Summerton Christian. So I would say those two are the main two we're looking at.
This is for you and the guys as well. Talk about conditioning, how important that is in 1A, because you got guys playing on both sides, and in these close games that you've had, like the South Lamar game, how important does conditioning come into that?
Oh, it's if you're not in shape, you know, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it to the end of the game. I mean, they know that. I mean, they know they got to play both ways, and they know they got to push themselves in practice, and they do, and they'll be in shape. And they'll be playing 4 quarters strong.
Anytime you have a 15, 16, 17 guy roster, and people start going down with cramps and such, it makes a huge impact. So what we're going to do this summer is, of course, just prepare the best that we can, and it'll pay off.
Coach, want to congratulate you. During the off season, you were inducted into the High School Hall of Fame, and talk about that and that honor, and much deserved. I want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you. First, it's very, very humbling to be selected like that, and I don't look at it as being an honor just for me. It's for all the former players, coaches, all the administrators, faculty, the entire Jacket Nation, and the Eagle Nation. And so I guess my name's on the plaque, but I look at it like a total team effort across the board from everybody that helped along the way.
Guys, congratulations once again, Coach. I want to echo that from Brett. But we look forward to seeing Summoning Christian in play this year, and looking forward to seeing what you guys are doing. So best of luck this season. Awesome. We'll be back with another one of Summoning Christian's leaders in just a moment. Everybody, back. We're now with Summoning Christian's Jack Adderholt for a very quick Q&A session, impromptu. Jack, obviously, you guys on the line, you're fighting in the trenches. Everything starts there. As an offensive line, how much would it mean to have a really good bounce-back season after things kind of rebuilt last season and get y'all the experience?
I think it'd mean a lot, really. I think we have a strong offensive line. We, of course, had a couple guys. It was their first time either playing the position. They've been a defensive guy. They came and had to play offense. I think now that they got a couple of games under their belt, will be great. Will be a strong offensive line. We can actually win a couple more games, get in the playoffs. I think it'll be great.
Now, out of you guys that are up there on the line, who's the joker? Who's the prankster? Who's the guys that always lights everybody up laughing?
I think I have to give myself a little bit of credit.
Really?
Yeah, I do. But I also think Aiden Whiten, he'll say some stuff you don't think you ever heard before, and it'll just catch you off guard and make you laugh.
Okay, obviously you guys are Sumner Christians, so this should be already editable for TV. But what's one of the things that's cracked everybody up the most that you've done?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly. It's just one of those things I can't really remember, or maybe can't quote. Aiden's kind of a colorful character. But I remember one time in Marion County, we ran the ball, and they just stuffed us. And these guys are complaining that they thought it was second down, and it was really third down. And they kept on complaining, and Aiden just looks at him and says, the reason it's third down is that we ran the ball, you stopped it, we did it again, it stopped it, that's why it's third down. Of course, add a couple more stuff in there, but...
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you up with us. Best of luck to you and your teammates this season.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Now we have the Carbon Hill Bulldogs joining us today. Coach DJ Emerson, in his first season with the Bulldogs. Bulldogs went 1-9 last season, looking to capitalize on future successfulness. Coach, I'm going to allow you to make an opening statement, introduce your two guys that you brought with you today, and then we'll open it up for questioning.
Yes, sir. First of all, thanks for having us today. We're honored to be here. This is a great event that you guys do for all the high schools in the surrounding area, and we just appreciate you allowing us to be here. To my right, senior quarterback Walker Kimbrell. To my left, senior Will Manasco. He played defensive end, offensive line, and play all over the field for us. Excited about the opportunity, excited about the challenge. Wasn't really looking to leave to play Curry where I was at. The opportunity presented itself, and after weighing the options, it was something I couldn't turn down. I thought it was a better situation for myself and my family, and moving forward. But we're excited. We got a long way to go. Talking with Coach Powell about being straightforward and some of the advice he had for coaches. We're not where we need to be. Our numbers are not where they need to be. We're continuing to try to improve that. Just them understanding my expectations and my standards that I want to input on the program and all that. It's a daily challenge, and we're moving forward. Now we are moving in the right direction. I believe in positivity, and we can fill the room up with negative stuff and like that. But we're moving forward with those positives, and each day is a new challenge, and we're seeing new challenges and new successful things and stuff like that. But I'm excited. We're working hard every day, and we're going to continue to work and have a foundation on working hard and giving great effort.
Coach, obviously, with a brand new start like that, let's talk about some of your assistants. Who's your staff man?
Oh, wow, you put me on the spot. I do have 3 new hires. We hired Jarrett Tuggle. He's going to be our DC from Haleville. Coach Jamie Lawler is going to coach our D-line. Jason Tittle got him back from Dora. He's going to coach our wide receivers and be our head middle school coach. Coach Stovall is going to coach our secondary. I'm going to leave somebody out. Coach Philip Smith, that's been a head coach in this area. He's going to coach the O-line. Coach Wilkerson is a good basketball assistant. He's helped with football. He's going to coach our running backs. Coach Joey Lee is going to help with our middle school. Brandon Phillips is going to help with our middle school. Danny Gosa is going to help with our middle school. So I'm really excited about having a staff of that size. I hope I didn't leave a guy out. Did I leave anybody out, you guys back there? Coach Brandon Phillips, I mentioned you. I mentioned you, right? Okay. So really excited about having a staff of that size. That was one of the main attractions, the ability to hire some new guys. Nobody's fault, but the situation I was in, we were limited in the number of staff people that we had, and it presented a challenge. And having those opportunities to have more coaches and the ability to do some things that I really wanted to do with those numbers was a great advantage of this job. So excited about those guys and what they're going to bring to our program.
Coach, have you received any backlash from jumping from Curry to Carbon Hill, one side of the rivalry to another?
Oh, I'm sure I have. I try not to get into all that. It really was a very difficult decision. I have nothing but great things to say about Curry High School, the administration there, the assistant coaches that worked for me, the players. Couldn't ask for anything, more than what they gave, and we were making huge strides in turning that culture around and doing things the right way and how I wanted them done. But I think with any type of decision, no matter what it is, if you say yes, 50% of the people is going to think you should have said no. If you say no, 50% of the people is going to think you should have said yes. So anytime you have to make a decision one way or another, there's going to be some hurt feelings. But I just want them to understand that I was very appreciative of the opportunity that they gave me and welcoming me and my family into the program. And, I can't say enough good things about how they treated me in my time there.
Coach, you're heading into your 3rd year as a high school head coach. What would you say you've learned in that time?
Every place is unique. I started my career out at Walker/Jasper High School, and the amount of players and the funding and the opportunities there was different. I transitioned to Tennessee to a bigger school, but not quite the capability of funding and stuff like that. And then, Curry to Carbon Hill. Every situation is different, and every school doesn't fit into the exact mold that you would like it for. I had certain things that I wanted to do at Curry that I was trying. Maybe we did at Jasper or Walker at the school or the school I was at Tennessee, and some things just don't allow you to do that. And having the ability to adapt and kind of maneuver and redirect, kind of like a GPS or something. If we get off track, that's something I've really had to learn to do a better job of at each stint. For example, just the low amount of players I've got to, when we start fall camp and it's 100 degrees and I've got a 2-hour practice plan scripted, everything's firing and going, and within 45 minutes into practice, we're dead, in the numbers, because it's just the same players going through the same reps and the same drills. And so just having to see that on the fly and try to adjust and, player safety and still work the guys and get the amount of reps we need in to try to be successful, just having to overcome some of those obstacles I had to learn to deal with each step along the way.
Coach, looking at your schedule, obviously you have Gordo, Fett, and Winfield all in the region, 3 of the best teams in Class 3A. What are your thoughts on having to play them?
It's going to be a challenge. I think every game's a challenge. They're great teams, great coaches, great players. We could sit up here all day and talk about how good they are. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to focus on us. You know, I'm trying to say the same motto I was at Curry. We're going to worry about us. We're going to move forward one day at a time. We're going to try to get a little better every day, and not get so much caught up in the scoreboard results. I'm judged by that, and I'm okay with that. But we can do a lot of positives and a lot of good things, and the scoreboard don't necessarily reflect that. But a lot of good teams. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right before I got here, and you know, everybody kind of asked me to give me a rundown of the schedule, who we play here and who we play there. Well, I know we play Phillips in a jamboree on August 18th, and I know we play Decatur Heritage at our place on September the 1st. Outside of that, you know, I'm really just focusing on those two things, and then each day at a time.
All right, my final question is for both the players, Walker and Will. How would you say the team morale is after a disappointing 1-9 season last year?
Well, we're just working hard and making the comeback. It was pretty low at the end of the last season, but we're working hard, and Coach Emerson's doing a great job making things better, and we're just working hard and going good, and it's getting up there.
Walker?
I'll definitely say it was low after that. Even for myself, you know, it's not a season everybody wants. But having Coach Emerson coming in, he's made a lot of great changes here. You can definitely see that even with the young team we have, everybody's excited. Even just for 7-on-7s, you know, we're ready to get out there and get after it. I'm ready to see what this season holds.
James Phillips with Community Journal. Coach, talk a little bit about the similarities. You know, you're coming in following several. They've had several coaches at Carbon Hill over the last 5-6 years. Curry was the same way when you took it over. What similarities between taking over those two programs, and maybe what are some of the differences?
Very similar. I think both programs were eager for some type of change, some type of new direction, maybe a fresh breath of fresh air. They present the same challenges. I believe in both places numbers are extremely low for the classification of both schools. Curry is trying to rectify some of that, but I think Carbon Hill's facilities and the things like that are a little bit better right now. But just numbers and the buy-in. I think the kids that are there are hungry to be different and hungry to see that success, but getting that camaraderie or the numbers and that type of excitement to start to spread throughout the school, and a guy that maybe I'm never playing football, well, after he finds out, you know, what all we're doing and the activities and the team building type stuff, and being around me more and these guys going back in the hallways and say, guys, it's a little different and stuff like that. It took about a year at Curry to kind of get that momentum going and that type of positivity and atmosphere, and we got more, and the numbers were increasing, and that's just going to kind of be a day-by-day process at Carbon Hill to try to create that and to get that momentum kind of going in the right direction as far as increasing numbers and the amount of players that are playing.
You've mentioned numbers several times. What are your numbers, and how do they compare to some of the other teams in your region? And do you see some of the younger kids coming out more, like each classification grow or each class growing?
I sure hope so. I mean, that's one of my main goals and directions. Just to be honest, I've been a little disappointed in the amount that we've had come out so far, especially with our younger kids. We're struggling to field a middle school team. They couldn't even field one last year. They all had to play a JV schedule and basically combine 7th through 10th grade, and that's not what I want. 7th and 8th graders, I don't think, have any business going against 9th and 10th graders. You know, just developmental stages are totally different. And so I'm just trying to make sure we establish a middle school program. And I think once younger kids realize, hey, I'm not going to have to compete as a 7th grader at 80 pounds against a 10th grader that's, you know, 150 a week in and week out, will create, you know, some excitement and just kind of relief. And you know, and it all starts at young guys. I love these guys to death, but if you're going to build a program, it's going to start young and just trying to incorporate what I want out of them. And I think just me being a steadily presence and, you know, me trying to get involved and them to, you know, develop that relationship. I'm a big relationship guy, so anything we can do as far as to build relationships, or I can kind of make that positivity in the middle school or whatever, you know, whatever we're trying to instill in our program, just make sure they're a younger version of that. I think year by year that will steadily improve. But I'm compared to the teams in our region, I expect probably them to have just as much or more players than us. Especially, you know, some of those harder teams we talked about they're tradition rich. Their numbers are usually high, and like I said, that's going to be a goal of mine every year. If, I don't really know the exact number we're at. We see a guy one day and you may not see him for a couple days later, and you hear whatever. But we're around in the mid 30s. I'd love to get that in the 50s. Our middle school is right around probably 10, 11, 12 as far as strictly 7th and 8th graders. I'd love to get that into 10, 15 in each class as the year moves forward. So it's just going to be one of those challenges that I'm going to strive for daily, and not just me, but us as a staff and us as a team. They recruit those players, and they almost sell them more on the program and what's going on from day to day than I ever could. So just constantly working for that day in and day out.
Well, and that was going to be my next question for the players. What can you guys do as older players to be able to recruit some new guys in?
Well, I think just leading by example, working hard every day, and talking to people and having great attitudes. I think that's just a great way to get people around and just enjoy being there.
Yeah, I'd have to say leadership's honestly the best thing. You got to be a leader, because I know young guys, they look up to us, especially us being seniors. We've been around, we've played. This is our 4th year. I personally, I just try to create a relationship with the younger guys and let them know, like, hey, I'm gonna be there for you if you need. Ask me whatever you want, and just try to be there for them. And you can see it kind of hit them a little different when they realize that, hey, an older guy who's been here and has actually done what I'm trying to do recognizes me and wants me to be around. That creates a big difference.
Just a welcoming environment.
Guys, I got one question for Walker and Will. Obviously, with senior year, there's team goals that y'all want to see accomplished. But what about your own personal goals as a leader and as a player that you want to see accomplished yourself?
Well, personally, I just want to play hard every game, every play, every snap, and I just want to give it my best every single time.
Personally, I just want to be there for all the guys and be the best leader I can. And obviously, being the starting quarterback, everybody looks up to you, and you're the guy, so you got to lead by example. So I just want to be the best person I can on and off the field.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck to the Carbon Hill Bulldogs this year. Looking forward to seeing you guys, and go Dogs.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Our final team of the day, the Meek Tigers, joining us. Coach Daniel Evans, who was part of the staff for the past couple of years, now moves over to head coach. The Meek Tigers had their winningest season ever in school history with 11 wins, won a region championship. Coach Evans, I'm going to let you make your opening statement, introduce your two leaders that you brought with us, and then we'll start on the questions.
Yes, sir. Like most of the coaches have been saying, we appreciate y'all doing this. This is awesome for football in the Winston-Walker County area to get out here and be out here in front of all y'all and having us come up here, and we appreciate everything y'all do for us. To my right is Justin Freeman. He's a senior captain. He plays safety for us, big hard hitter for us. And then to our left here is our tight end, defensive end, senior captain as well, Jarrett Benson. Just kind of piggybacking off of that, not much I have to do. Coach Powell has set the standard. We miss him a lot and appreciate everything he's done, but we don't really have to change a whole bunch. I mean, I'm going to put my spin on what we do, but physicality, being imposing up front to people we play on offense and defense is what's most important to us. We spend 4 or 5 days a week in the weight room so that we can play that brand of ball. But we've got guys that understand the culture, what we are trying to do, and it makes it a lot easier for us to do our job as coaches because we've had 3, and this will be year 4 for us, doing the same thing in the same way because it's worked for us. You know, we went from 1-9 that first year to 8-4 to last year being 11-1. It's a tried and true method for us, so we're excited about that.
I'm going to actually start off with a question for both Jared and Justin. So many times when there's a coaching change, there's so many things that are going to get shaken up, whereas this was just pretty much just a almost business as usual. How comforting was that as you guys as a team that there's not somebody brand new that had to be brought in that y'all would have to get adjusted to?
Well, as a team, we all came together and we told our principal we want Coach Evans as our head coach, and we were all on the same side with that, and we all agreed as a team that we want Coach Evans as our coach. We didn't want to start over and be with a brand new guy. We wanted to be with the guy that's been with us for 4 years, and I think that's what, we just all came together and agreed on that.
It was pretty comforting knowing that he was always there for us. He was there for us for 4 years. When he wasn't even working in the school, he was there the 1-9 years still working with us. It was very comforting to know I'm glad he's our head coach. I wouldn't want anyone else right now. It just feels very nice right now.
All right, Coach Zach McCullough with WJLX. First of all, how would you say the pressure is on repeating such a historic and wonderful season that last year was?
Well, anytime you win, there's pressure. I mean, you can look at anybody in the history of football. There's always going to be pressure. In my case, it's the best football season and Meek's ever had. We went 10-0 last year, won our first round playoff game and lost in the second round. So there's a lot of pressure. I mean, you beat Maplesville that first game. You beat a really good 3A in Oakman. We also beat Addison for the first time in a while in the Week 6 matchup. So there's a lot of pressure, but I mean, with anything you do, especially when it comes to football in this state, there's always going to be pressure. I like that kind of stuff. It's a challenge for me. It's a challenge for this team more than it is anything else. So, if you have pressure, that means you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So I look forward to that.
All right, Coach, you touched on having to share your region with a rival Addison. What are your thoughts on the rivalry itself and this year's edition of the game?
So the first couple of days that I came to Meek, one of the first things that was said to me was, "Hey, we're happy to have you here. We want to beat Addison." I mean, that's just one of those things. All right, there's no love lost. I mean, I'm sure if you've been around here long enough, you've probably gotten that, especially you're in Winston County. They don't really like each other very much. They like to, win, and then this is not just football. This is pretty much anything. I mean, it doesn't matter the sport, male or female. They just, they want to beat each other. So it was good to get the game back on there because that was one of the things Coach Powell and myself talked about from year one. The schedule was already set. when we got there in 2020. And Addison and Meek had not played in like 5 years, I think, or 4 years, somewhere in there. So the first thing we wanted to do was get them back on the schedule, and we had already kind of had something in place for week 1, which is what they do when they're not in the same region. So it worked out for us that we were able to do that. And anytime, just kind of going off of that, we can get any of the county schools on the schedule. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for Winston County for all those schools because they're so close together and the classifications are so close for them to play. So we were excited not only to have the pressure of just a rivalry game, but to also play for the region championship, because that game, looking back in week 6, was for the region championship. Whoever won that game had the fast track for the 1 seed. We were fortunate to win that game. We played a really, really, really good game that day, and Addison did as well, and I don't expect anything else moving forward.
All right, you said that you invite pressure and you like it. Would you say there's any additional pressure that you have to open up your season, and it's your first game as a head coach against Maplesville with that championship pedigree that they have?
Well, that's why I put Jamboree on there for against Faultville. Just go ahead and get that out of the way early. Yeah, it is. And when we put that game on there last year, and Coach Powell, said, "Hey, we're going to, play Maplesville at home this year, and then next year we're going to go there." Look, they're a 1A powerhouse. I mean, that's just what they are. They've been they're in the South, but at the same time, we preach to these kids all the time that we're trying to be the standard. That's our thing. We break it down on that. That's kind of our culture. We want to be the standard of 1A. Well, you can't be the standard of 1A if you don't play good competition. So is it tough? Yeah, it's going to be tough. That place down there, if you've never been down there, they love their football. They get crazy with it, and that atmosphere is going to be awesome. Especially after last year, us being able for them to come up here and us beating them. So, yeah, there's probably a little bit of added pressure, but that's what these kids need. We're trying to win a state championship. You can't win a state championship if you don't play big games.
Hey, Coach, James Phillips with the Community Journal.
Hey.
Talk a little bit about, you said earlier that there are a few little differences and nuances between Coach Powell and you. Talk about some of those differences.
We've kind of switched. We were I wouldn't want to say old school, but in the weight room we've spent a lot of time building up strength. When we got there, these boys are going to kind of smirk when I say this. The weight room was not a priority. They were kind of small. We didn't. It just wasn't precedent. All right. So when we got there, we spent a lot of time just working on, just your regular weight room core stuff. And then, from there we just kind of built. I've kind of taken the approach of what are our holes? What do we need to fix? What are things that have kept us from getting to that next level over the last couple of years? And speed and agility is where we fall on that. Having lateral quickness, being able to jump, being able to run, things like that. So we've spent a little more time since I've taken over in the weight room working some of that stuff, trying to get our fast twitch muscles moving, so that way when we play a team that may match up with us a little bit better up front, that we're able to be a little quicker, be a little bit faster, a little bit more athletic, and maybe give us a competitive edge against people like that.
As part of our new initiative for the athletic community, 2 of the Meek cheerleaders are coming up to join us. Ladies, if y'all could saunter in right here behind your player representatives. If you wouldn't mind getting each one of you guys getting right behind Coach. First and foremost, give us your names and what year that y'all are in. You can get right up there to the mics.
I'm McKinley Sandlin, and I'm a senior.
My name is Belle Claycorn, and I'm also a senior.
Okay, so both of you guys are seniors. The question that I've got is, how exhilarating is it from your freshman year to this year? How fun has this been for a ride for you guys to be on the sideline and cheering these guys on? How fun has it been?
I've noticed that it gets funner like every year. Like new people come in, and it just brings more excitement to the team.
Oh, I love cheering for football. It has been so much fun. I love it.
So the second question is what would really make the senior year for you guys as a cheerleading squad? What do you guys as a squad want to really accomplish?
I want to go to playoffs again.
I do too. I really want to see our boys make it far in like everything, and I think it would also be really fun to like get to experience like competing again. I think that would be a fun experience.
I agree with everything they said, by the way. It sounds awesome.
Coach, I
Great
would
idea.
think so.
I think that's a great idea.
Well, once again, we appreciate everybody, cheerleaders, players, coach, all of you guys for joining us. We look so forward to seeing what you guys are doing. Looking forward to broadcasting some more games, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers, appreciate it.
We'll be back to wrap up here in just a few moments. Welcome back, everybody. Here is our wrap-up for day number 1. He's Bass. He's Zach. Staff members, guys. We had to overcome some technical difficulties ourselves, but once everything got going, the players, the coaches, just great representation. Really good day 1.
It really was, and what really struck me was just the professionalism that all the coaches and players brought. I mean, you didn't see as many stammers or uhs and alls as, I mean, you would expect to see. And I was really pleased with Meek, especially because that was so professional. Looks like that they're not going to have a drop-off this year.
Yeah, I mean, really good job with everybody and overcoming the little technical difficulties we had. But good bit of answers or questions were answered today with, you know, the quarterback situation with Cordova. We kind of, you know, Coach Smothers talked about, you know, it's really up to the O-line. You know, as long they don't care who's at QB as long as, you know, whoever's protected up front. I mean, it seems like it's another going to be an expectation year for Carbon Hill with Coach DJ Emerson, first year there. Just a lot of expectations this year, and I think it's going to be a good season for a lot of our teams so far that we've talked to.
Well, we'll be kicking everything off once again in the morning time. We'll have Addison starting everything off. We'll end with Jasper, and in between, we'll have some visits from luminaries. Dr. Dennis Willingham will be here. Ann Jackson will be here from the Jasper City School Systems. Teams in between, we'll be having Winston County. We'll be having Oakman. Of course, the Dora Bulldogs will be in there. So make sure to tune in. We've got some new surprises coming along, and we're looking forward to it. But for Zach, for Bass, and for our entire WJLX crew, also for James Phillips, also from the Community Journal, I'm Brian Hale. So long for today.